Hey everyone, we're here. We got FSD 12.3.3. I think it's rolled out to about 2% of people right now. So we're pretty excited to test this version. Not only is it V12, but it's V12 first impressions, but it's also a double special since I got my brother here, and we're gonna do a first impressions and brother test. And my brother, he has driven the Model 3 Tesla. I don't know if have you tried out FSD before as a passenger?
Not as a passenger, just as a viewer.
Okay, all right. So that's pretty cool, because he hasn't really tried out the previous versions, V11, V12. So it'll definitely be awesome to hear what he has to say, what he thinks about how good it is, or not. So you can see here we got 12.3.3. Just got it downloaded today. It's called Full Self-Driving. They took out the beta. They put supervised now. So I guess Elon is technically true. It's not beta anymore. It's not supervised. I want to show the settings real quick for autopilot. You see it's FSD supervised. We got it on average, which I like to test, and I put it back on auto speed offset to let the Tesla decide. So since it's the first impressions, we are just going to test some random routes, and for that we got our steering wheel icon, and I'll just activate FSD and we off to the races.
Nice.
What do you think about that start so far?
Yeah, it felt pretty clean. Felt assertive enough, even though you got your average setting on.
Alrighty. So here we got a unprotected left stop. It's pretty blind to the right, so we're looking for a stop, a creep, a lot of pedestrians. I do like to show the right. So we're pretty blind. As a human, I can't see the right. I'm gonna have to creep out to this a little bit further here. This is where I would stop as a human. I can fully see everything. Oh yeah. So what do you think about that one?
Yeah, it's decent. It's pretty tentative coming out, creeping out there. Probably a little bit more tentative than a regular human. But then definitely took an aggressive acceleration.
Yeah, I actually felt that in my ribs. I had a little injury, mountain bike injury, nothing too bad, but I'll call that one the rib acceleration. I could feel it. So we're hitting little tree bumps, but we avoided the majority of them, mostly because the RV is there, so we don't really get to test that. I'm not expecting miracles with the tree roots. A human would avoid the tree roots, but we got basically lucky because the. What do you think about this this left we're doing right here?
Yeah, it's rather unmarked as far as like the multiple lanes here, so I think it's doing it well enough.
Okay. So what happened to me? The reason I asked that is because we're in the middle. We're kind of giving the indication we're going straight by our positioning, and we had more than a whole lane gap, and I've seen more than once a car come into the left lane or attempt to until they see our blinker.
Sure. So I guess my question here would be, since I'm not familiar with the area, is this actually supposed to be a double lane for turning or just a single?
There's no markings, there's no turn markings, there's no lane markings, but you see what's happening right here on our left is someone's pulling into our lane. Yep. There's two lanes, so I guess, yeah, you could, have two people turn.
Yeah.
But so I guess it's technically correct. That's the best kind of correct. But for me, I would have gone to the other lane to be left. But that's interesting. It's not wrong to your. I think where you're going is we got a right to make. If this did have two left lanes, it would be fine. And it does have two lanes to turn into. So yeah, maybe it's fine.
I like that it was a little cautious with that other car. Didn't try just to bust out like it did at the other acceleration points, just in case the car just didn't know or didn't think we were making the left turn.
Yeah, it's true. It might not have known.
So a little caution there was well heeded.
Like this, not really caring too much about the bike lanes. Little indecision there. So in less than 5 minutes, we're going to be going into a parking lot, and one of the things that I want to test is this new version does have auto park behavior, but mine is a 2019 Model 3 with USS, which are short sensors to detect things close to you. The newer models actually remove those, and we've heard that I'm not going to get auto park to work as of yet till April, I heard, since it's not April technically. I'm guessing it won't work, but we're gonna try it out. Yeah, let's not worry at all about that car turning right. I'm quite confident. So we got it set to auto speed. That's what the auto max is. It should be detecting the speed limits best as it can, and kind of going what it thinks is reasonable and prudent for the average setting. So what have you thought so far about the speed it's chosen?
Yeah, I think the speed is good. I think, obviously, I'm not an expert in the software or anything else, but just as a casual observer, I would say for an average setting, I was actually a little surprised by the acceleration, honestly. I would expect for a normal driver it would be a little less on the acceleration to get up to speed.
Okay.
I would say if you were on the more aggressive mode, yeah, I would 100% expect it, but if you're trying to conserve energy, not accelerate quite as fast, make it a little bit smoother, I would expect it to go a little less.
Sure.
It's not bad, but I would say like that one stop where it was a little tentative coming on out, where it was blind, and then all of a sudden, when it did see everything, then accelerated aggressively. Feels like a pattern.
Yeah.
So,
And you normally drive gas cars, but you have ridden EVs. This one and others, right? So you do have.
Yeah, I've driven Leafs. I've driven the Volkswagens. I've driven some Teslas without the pilot features, as well as the Chevy Bolts.
So one thing right here, we're coming up to a left. I don't love. As a human driver, I would be getting the left lane. There's a gap, car gap. We don't seem to. Well, just as I say it, didn't seem to be taking it. The guy behind us left it open. We didn't indicate before that we were taking a left. Oh, interesting. This guy. Oh. Okay, well we got two left, so I guess it wouldn't have mattered. Maybe FSD knew from the map data, but me as a human, I would have been in the left lane. But just goes to show you, I guess I don't know. And the other car went in the left lane, or in the other lane to take a left, so that's interesting. Okay, so we're going to be coming up on some parking lots. By the way, we're a little rainy today in Southern California. I bet you my brother's surprised about that. And we're kind of like a little overcast / dusk.
Yeah, it is. But the rain's gonna be nice, keeps things green, and I believe these next 3 to 4 days it's gonna be nice and sunny. So little trade-offs.
Yes. Okay. What do you think about this left?
I felt that was pretty smooth. And, yeah, I felt that was pretty smooth. Nope.
Yeah. It's funny, we got an extra sensor in the car. It's called my ribs hurting for acceleration. That was actually fine, but it was on the verge a little bit. Okay, so it thinks the route is complete, and what I've seen in videos, I'm not sure how to activate it, but I believe if you would have the newer ones, the auto park, we would hang on here because no one's behind us. Is a lot of gaps, and you could, essentially pick which one you wanted to, but it does not look like we have that or able to test it. It is in the release notes. It doesn't really say that I saw anything about not having it. And it's interesting. It says it's complete. It's got like a little map route. It's pretty blind to the right. And this is about where, as a human, I can see. Got a person to our left seems to be doing a good job on the caution. So yeah, I think I wanted to go in here to see if any of the auto park stuff would show up. We get little spaces here, basically what I was looking for, and then you click boop, and click P for park, and you get to park in there, but that's not enabled yet. So with that, I think we should just end the trip and pick a new destination. Any suggestions?
I would say some looks good use with maybe a little bit of higher traffic volumes, just to see how it does.
Alright, so let's try this. Kind of seems to be going on a joyride without a destination here. Okay, so we got an unprotected left. We do got a median. If someone's going on the right, there is a gap, but we can pretty good position if you ask me.
Yep, so if it's going, it should go right now.
Yes, we're gonna go. Go.
Okay, it's lagging.
Okay, did it. We had pedestrian, we had a scooter, car. Yeah, what was your thoughts?
It was decent, but it definitely lagged a little bit. Didn't hit the gap, or didn't start pushing into the gap.
Yeah, as a human,
Really
you would have done
should've.
it, made a decision faster, right?
Yeah, definitely in that case.
Yeah.
But I don't think it panicked on the acceleration or anything, like it was indecisive and then just hit it. So it was fine once it made the decision, but it took a little bit longer than. So if it was like heavy traffic, you definitely would have lost your gap trying to get across.
Yes, a little more assertion. So I saw the auto wipers tried to come on once. These only came on once. I didn't see a drop of rain. It's a perennial complaint about Tesla owners for a long time that the auto wipers suck. For me, they've not been perfect, but they, my biggest complaint is they come on when it's dry, like a lot sometimes. Here, rarely, but that's the super annoying part. Looks like the route is going this way. Okay. Let's try out this neighborhood. So, yeah, this is a minor complaint of mine on the school route, that with a little bit heavier traffic, it does like to get in this lane, which is not going straight. It gets over this lane and then it gets in the other lane, but not going to be an issue here with low traffic, and decides to get back in the other lane. Basically, besides my YMCA issue, the one-ways have been fixed. My biggest issue that I had on the previous version, 12.3, was lane selection, getting in the... Mostly when I had to go straight, getting in the right lane, so that's my biggest thing that I'm looking out for is it going to be kind of impatient getting in the right lanes, or get in right only turn lanes to get on the freeway, and then decide last minute. That's I'm not sure if we're gonna get super high traffic areas.
Oh, it is Easter Sunday.
Yes. So, yeah, why not? Let's just try our YMCA stop since we're over here. And I got no better ideas to do. So this is, at least my famous YMCA. It's up on a hill. We got, the map data is correct, but it's got this very sharp left to go, and V11 made it left into YMCA. Not like perfect, getting across the traffic and the slow down. The V12 has been missing this 100% of the time, all the previous versions, and then deciding to do a U-turn and then doing some funky behavior. So if this fixes the U-turn, this will be one of my top issues fixed as well. Smooth for all that, right?
Yep, that felt nice.
And U-turns is a new behavior now in V12 in general. The issue here is that you don't want to be doing a U-turn, you want to be making the left. So if you can start seeing it on the video, this big giant ramp is essentially this. That is the exit ramp. You don't want to be going on that. And we're going to be taking that sharp left. past the exit ramp. I only point that out because sometimes we'll see. We'll do full screen here in a second. Okay, so it's signaling here, and this is not the right, but it seemed like it figured that one out. So that obviously would not be following the map data. Did that. Okay. So now it's interesting. You can't see it, but as we turn, there's some different foliage than it had before, which may or not be a factor. Okay. Oh, oh, it made it this time. Okay, interesting. Not perfect, let's say. I still saw a very squiggly line there, but before it was 100% fail making the U-turn. So, all right, good job, girl. Yes, you made it without not without some indecision, but it made it. And let's just add that stop. Maybe we'll do another round. Let's see how it threads itself out of here. Parking lot. Yeah, pretty empty Easter Sunday.
See how it does with that remote control car up there.
Oh yeah. My guess. Oh, okay. Not the test I was not looking for. So. It should visualize the people quite well. I'm guessing if that remote control car came towards us, it
stopped it by the trash can.
We would not be.
That would have been interesting.
We probably would not have seen it. But sometimes it visualizes cats and dogs, so there is a possibility. Always something new. So. Okay, what you doing? So this really isn't FSD, yeah, so I guess pick the other lane. The map, yeah, it looks like it wants to go down this road, so that's what the map chose, so that's fine. So it is a two lanes on either side, essentially. So it's not one way, so that's a fine choice. Stopping back before the stop sign. And do not do that. Oh, okay. Okay, well, let's thought about it. Wanted a little closer to the curb than I wanted, but made it. Kind of seems to be a little some nice mountain views. Now, as I said, but I'll explain to my brother as well. This one's a very kind of challenging for a human, especially in the morning. So it's pretty sharp back to the left, and with my rib injury, it's going to be even a little extra spicy. So and in the morning I can't even hardly see the traffic. So actually this should do it does a better job than me because I can see just nice and easy. And for me, like I can only see I can see the road, but less than I want. I think there's like a car in the distance with some lights that I saw, but it wasn't a clear view by any means for me as a human. And I actually kind of appreciate that it can see better than me. Let's try it again. So I'm editing the trip on the fly, which means it has to go figure it out. We have a green arrow. It's been kind of timid here in the past, but yeah, there's not a U-turn specifically, but there's definitely enough space, and we had a protected green arrow. What would you think about that? You think a car like this could do it?
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see on a. You know, it'd be kind of fascinating. You know, makes no difference, and this shows how little I know about software. Because if we did the whole thing again, would it improve with each go round? So it was a little tentative, making it around.
Yeah.
For what it is, but I do wonder with each subsequent lap, if you will, if it would improve.
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, the standard answer is no, it wouldn't, because they trained this and it's kind of static. However, I've kind of been a vocal advocate to say that we actually don't know. It actually could get better. It could record something locally and use it as inputs for
like this one right here. I think will be an interesting test.
So looks like it's missing it. Oh, okay, so it missed it. So Yeah, definitely not 100% fixed. That's kind of what it did before. I'll have to check the visualization. But so there's a combo now. So when it misses that, what it does, it starts to freak out and starts to do this, like I want to turn right, and it almost wants to go here, like it is disappointed it missed it. So obviously this isn't great behavior. I'm gonna let it because it's such low traffic, and we got multiple lanes. But like this is not. You shouldn't be driving here.
Yeah,
this is not so I'm gonna. Okay.
Oh, that would be interesting if it would try to go up.
It did not try. It did not disengage.
Okay.
But I'm gonna just let this play out because it's still engaged and it just like really wants to go there.
Do you want to see if it takes this Huey? Or are you just gonna let it do its thing?
Normally I disengage, but since it's such low traffic,
yeah.
I was kind of curious what's in it, if I can decipher what's in its mind, because
it
seems like it really wanted to go, and the map data is not.
Well, yeah, I think this is good. Even though we weren't intentionally trying to quote break it, it definitely exposed the issue.
Yes, it's issue, and I've never let it go this far because of traffic, but now we're pretty far off the route, as you can see. And I've never been in this neighborhood, so hey, let's just let it play out and see what it does. I'm kind of curious. But that's basically a reproduction of the behavior, but I've never seen it make it once. So that's, a slight improvement, if you will. Nice slow down for the speed bump in there. My ribs appreciate it. Now, so we still got the YMCA. The speed bump here. How would you grade the speed bump?
I would say great.
Nice. And it looks like it's just like the map route nav is ending. I've never been back in this neighborhood before. We are going 21 and a 15. It says. I haven't seen the limit myself, but for me, that feels pretty dang good. And there's a 15. Slow down to 11. Auto wipers came on. So obviously, if this is robotaxi, we're not getting to our destination very, very quickly, but it's interesting from a testing perspective. So generally, we've seen 12 kind of override with this decision versus the map, but I've never seen it this extreme, essentially, where it's so far off the. Well, it's back on the route now that it chose, but certainly it's not the route to get us to the destination is highly questionable, because it's not getting us every foot it takes here is further from our destination. I'm curious what's at the end of this rainbow.
And what it does then.
Yeah. Nice blue, different shades of mountain blue there. Now, so what do you think about the stop behavior? Like, I'm not going to tell you one way or another, but...
What do I think about that stop there?
Yeah, and overall from what you've seen. Is that the kind of stops that you like, that you would do?
Well, they've been a little variable, but I think the one thing I believe I am noticing is that it stops a few feet back from the stop sign, where normally I believe I'd pull up a few more feet for both visualization.
Yep, I see that. Yep. Now, you're from Washington State. Would you, besides the stop line, So we got a cul-de-sac here. Would you stop, do a full stop? Would you do a rolling stop?
Well, the technical standard, of course, is a full stop.
Sure. Okay, we've had the camera issues where it's been auto shutting off. I'm gonna try to get this and continue. So I'm gonna put it in drive and approximately get to a spot where it's going to engage again. So we were discussing the stop sign behavior, and I was asking brother, he's from Washington State, about what he thinks. Okay, so we got a dad here. Saw some kids before. He waved. Oh, there was a little thing on the ground. What do you think of the caution around the pedestrians?
I felt that was appropriate and good.
Nice.
Right. But in case we didn't catch it on camera, I think you were asking maybe how it was doing on up to stop signs. I think my general observation was that it stopped well enough, but it seemed like it stopped a couple feet back, where normally I would be pulling up a little bit closer to the stop sign. I don't know, anywhere between 2 to 6 foot back in some cases. So I would advise that comes up a little bit further, and would give itself better visualization and be more in standard with a normal stop sign.
So I can some visibility in the left, but it's a good position, but you kind of need to be a little bit more assertive getting out here. And then okay, so surpass that. So what about the actual stopping behavior?
Sure.
So I believe on the line behavior, I agree with that. What about the stop sign behavior?
Yeah. So you also asked me about, does it pretty much stop like almost at full at every stop sign, and I said yes, it does. So again, that's a really good example of it stopping short of the line by probably 2 to 6 feet right there.
And a full stop, right?
And a full stop I've observed across.
Okay, we're gonna keep rolling. Yes. So do you do a full stop?
I do 90+% of the time, but there have been known occasions to do what is affectionately called the California stop, which is the creeping on up and rolling on through at a couple miles an hour to not come to a full stop. It has happened.
Yeah. So well known to the community is the California stop. It's beloved in California, and the Tesla used to do California stops, but it was taken away by that mean TSA, Highway Transportation Safety Administration. But to me, it does a full stop. Sure, I would probably do rolling stops a little bit more, but it's not so annoying that it makes me irate or anything. So, but if you're used to full stops and it's doing full stops, I think the thing that you're looking for is just where it stops, right?
That's right. And I think obviously you as a full-blown adult, have a little more leeway. Had kids in the vehicle and everything, you probably want to teach them the right way, so do the full stop. Make it right for them.
You heard it there. Brother Test says full stops are the way to go. Alright, so I don't know how many speed bumps we've been through, but I gotta say it's been a 100% success rate for me anyways on nailing all these stop behaviors, which is nice to see.
Besides, if a cop, I'm sure, observes you doing a California stop, trying to blame it on the software isn't going to get you out of a ticket.
No. I'm just looking for a cop mode, so you do rolling stops otherwise, and if you see a cop, then you emulate a human and do a full nice stop. Okay, got a squirrel ahead. I doubt any squirrel has been detected, but never know. Okay, auto wipers just came on with questionable 3 drops of rain. That one was harder to see speed bump, so I'm glad it slowed down. We're gonna try. This will be number 3, right? For our test, we got 1 success, 1 failure. This will be the tiebreaker. Not looking for. And this one, actually, I'm going to disengage if it messes up. And the reason is because A, we tested already, and B, we get some data to Tesla on the latest software to help retrain and fix this issue. interesting. Didn't make the same little questionable question about turn left there. Okay, I'm gonna go full screen for this.
Glad there's enough cars far enough away just for this test.
Yeah, we got a pretty squiggly, and okay, I'm gonna disengage. It seems like it was not gonna make it to me.
I agree. It wasn't.
Okay, failure to make turn into YMCA entrance ramp for the route. Okay, so that'll get some data to Tesla once again. I did notice that wall, you see it on camera, had different foliage than it did before. It was before it was about the color of this, whatever, sandstone, whatever you want to call it, sandy. But today it was a little more green and a little yellow and red. So that's different color foliage contrast. Because one of my theories that was it was a reach before, it was that maybe the color of the background was the same as this, and that maybe it, you know, got a little confused, but I think that's a data point that says otherwise. Okay, so we're gonna do this loop again. We don't need to test this. We got the next route, and yeah, see how it does. We're in another parking lot. We're not the parking lot stuff is not activating. One thing that'll be interesting here is once it pretty slow here. There's nobody around. Let's show this kind of this glitchy route thing, where for me that means it's
uncertain.
It's uncertain. That's what I take that to mean.
Yeah. It's nice that it shows that though.
Yeah. Before it's kind of had some behavior where I wasn't sure it knew it reached the destination. Now to me this is pretty close, and I just kind of want to see the behavior here for a second. As you can see, we're right there in the pin, but it doesn't say complete destination. So just edit it, remove it, and we'll go for our next little joyride. Yes. Nav has us going this little loop-de-loop, which we've had fun with before with the tape. It should be able to wind its way out of here. What's your thinking on the parking lot behavior? I know these are pretty empty parking lots, but
I would say that I would expect a little more speed and less tentativeness, especially considering the lack of cars and pedestrians. So if this was a full parking lot, a lot of people moving across, okay, maybe, you know, for what it is, I could understand the tentative behavior. But considering what we're seeing here, I would expect it to be a little more assertive and a little more speed.
Yep, that's a good assessment. Now the question is too, I think it's generally consensus that the parking lot behavior is not 100% optimized, but the you know, the software stack that it uses for driving on the city streets is the same as used in parking lots. It's kind of fascinating how assertive it is on the roads, but not as assertive in parking lots, even though people. I find that interesting.
It is interesting. My guess is that maybe there's just a little bit more, I don't know, perceived risk in parking lots.
Sure. Yeah, so I think it's I feel like 12 is better than 11, but certainly not on the assertiveness scale. Like handling complex situations in parking lots, yes, but it's just about as timid as the previous version. So we have a chance for more traffic here, but not tons. So we got 3 lights and up to the left. raindrops.
Yeah, I think today's test is just more about routes and the geography, frankly, rather than heavy traffic situations.
Yes.
Which is kind of nice to separate those two things out.
Yes, true.
You're taking out some of those variables, so you can really just be able to assess how it does, particularly on the route and some of those more complex things, and all the side variables of multiple pedestrians and or vehicles.
Yeah, I like that. So we got some. Oh, okay. I was just about to say it's about time for me as a human to put the windshield wiper on. Yeah, it's dusk, but the traffic, probably because of Easter Sunday and Easter Sunday, is kind of more like a night drive. So yeah, as my brother said, we're not really testing the traffic too much. However, you know, we may or may not. This won't be definitive one way or another, but coming up is, depending on the lane choice, a freeway right-only lane, so I'm kind of curious what it picks. This won't be definitive one way or another, but I'm looking for, hey, we're going straight, just stay in the right lane. Don't be, this is the main, I'll repeat it, this is my main thing I want the software to fix, is to, when it's going straight, don't be getting in any side lanes, just keep in the straight lane. And if it does that, I'll result in less disengagements. So technically today, I mean, I've disengaged, I think you know, once for that U-turn. If I was actually going there, it would have made it the first time. Not a home run. It depends on how you want to count that. But we had a 2 out of 3 fail on that. And the family did want to have some YMCA routes today. So if you were going to count that, I guess it would be 0 disengagements because it would have made it the first time. So back there was the potential to get in the right lane, and it didn't, just kept in the straight lane. And I guess what I'm looking at for here is, it is subject to debate, but I'm looking for it to be, so yeah, assertive, getting around this car, which is fine. What I'm not looking for it to do is get in this up here, this right only, sorry, it's not right only, it's right and it merges back to the left, so FSD gets quite impatient sometimes, or last minute for 0 reason with no cars, gets in that lane and then goes back. So
you know, I've always wondered at some point whether or not if the multiple Teslas around us are on this autopilot. What's the official name for this?
Yeah, there's autopilot. Usually it means the freeway, but this is a full self-driving.
Okay, so for full self-driving,
it'll just last minute decide to go in there and then back. So it's only time will tell. Auto wipers seem pretty decent to me as far as when to turn on. There's that lane there where sometimes it's cut in front of cars, sometimes it's gone there for no reason. But we're getting to the end. We got night approaching, and we have probably a good time to do wrap up. So yeah, what do you think, brother, on the brother test? What would you say?
Yeah, overall, like with most full service driving, found it to be enjoyable. It does a good job overall. Not a ton of concerns, other than obviously there's some tricky points to be on the lookout for, and you know, with the feedback we're giving and others are doing, it's only going to get better. But yeah, overall a good experience. And just gotta look out for some of the points we know that where it struggles a little bit.
Yeah, I like that. That's a good assessment. Now, if you had a Tesla, let's just say Tesla, and this was a subscription, what price would you pay per month? Let's just say.
Oh,
that's a good. I know it's a very variable interesting behavior. So I've had this set point for before, and it never stopped up here. But yeah, either way, we're kind of at the end. But what would you think? Let's say, would you pay a subscription at all? Month?
Yeah, that's a great question. So, well, I guess I would answer that by saying, what would I pay for it now with its current capabilities, which are nice but not necessarily essential, depending on what you're doing, versus if it was truly full self-driving, where I didn't have to put my hands on the steering wheel, where I could relax a bit more, especially for longer trips.
Okay.
I would certainly probably pay, probably at least $100+ a month, probably, for that system, where I could take longer trips, be able to relax more, or especially be able to do more in the car on a commute to work or anything along those lines. But it still requires enough attention that you're not able to truly relax for what it is. It's fantastic, but not necessarily essential. You're able to do other things. So I always look at it from that value proposition.
No, I think that's a great answer. I think as a, you're not necessarily a Tesla owner or, fanboy. I think that's a good common man answer, essentially, that it makes sense because, yeah, most people are looking for that. Like, hey, what value am I going to have? Only if I don't need to keep supervising all the time to a high degree.
Yeah.
And some people say 200 is a steal, but I think for most people, to be honest, I've heard 200 is too much. Like, obviously, you lower the price, more people are going to take it. So I actually like your answer. I think it's pretty good.
Thanks.
Yeah.
I guess the only other thing I would say on top of that is, if you found some areas that were really high traffic collisions, things along those lines, stressful as a driver, and this really helped you visualize, see, avoid some of those things, then I guess that would be another point of consideration for yourself.
Yeah, I like that. Okay, with that, we're gonna wrap up the brother test. Nice. Thank you for coming out, brother. Is there a grade you'd give this? You had to be harsh and give it a grade.
Yeah. No, I mean, overall, I'd put it somewhere in the B minus category for what it is. Can't quite throw it into the A just yet, but if I made the leap, I would have no hesitation in having a Tesla nor the FSD. If money wasn't a factor at the moment for myself, would certainly be having and playing around with it, such as you are.
Nice. All right, let's wrap it up. All right,